I started painting. I painted.
Nice.
Wow.
Cool. Did you guys actually ever like cook and kind of play it out in your mind? Ki, namak swad anusar, ek katori.
So
Of
many
course.
times. Hello and welcome to the first season's first episode of the Female Phenomena, and this is our first podcast ever. This is actually our second podcast. We had recorded earlier, lost the recording, so this is the second one. But yeah, well, second time's luck. I don't know. So hi guys, and we are Tushita.
I'm Anita.
I'm Mayurakshi.
And we collectively are doing podcasts nowadays, and we are called the Female Phenomena. You can follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And today we are here to talk about lockdown, which is going to start. It's already started in a lot of places in the country, and it's starting in Bangalore too, where two of us are from, Mayurakshi and I. And so yeah, let's talk about lockdown. So we're here to talk about how our experience was in the previous one and how it affected all of us. I know it's affected all of us, you, me, all three of us, like the entire world. So yeah, we're here to talk about that a lot. So guys, how was your last time with the lockdown? What was your experience like?
So basically for me, I think on 14th week the lockdown started, right? So I think a week before that I came to Kerala, like to my home for a vacation, and I just came with a few clothes. I was thinking I'd just go on a Saturday or something. Tickets were booked, everything was booked, and then on a Friday or Thursday, I think we got an announcement telling it was lockdown. So all my stuff were stuck there, and I just had a few clothes and my laptop, and that's it. So yeah, so basically that was how my lockdown started.
So you were with your parents at that time?
Yeah, so basically I came back from Bangalore. Yes, from lockdown I've been with my parents. Yeah.
Okay, so you're comfortable being there with. I mean, I know a lot of us have like. I'm sure we're all blessed to be with people that we wanted to be with, but there are some people who were sort of forced to be with people also. And then I don't know where actually.
No. For me, I spent the majority of the lockdown with my partner. So when it started, we thought, "Arey, wow, nice. We'll get to spend so much time together. We'll DIY this, we'll DIY that, we'll cook this, we'll cook that." But eventually, after 1 month of making dalgona coffee, we were done. The romance was out of the window, and we realized that it's really for like working couples like us, because most of the time, you are busy with your own work. You meet at the end of the day once you're back from office, and obviously you by that time kind of crave to also meet your partner and discuss. But being stuck together under the same roof 24/7, trust me, is difficult. And we had our second, we completed 2 years sometime in May. I think it was around 26th of May. But I was dead sure before that we were going to break up, that we will not survive lockdown. There's no way. It's just too much struggle. And there's no way that we can, we'll be able to celebrate our second anniversary. But then eventually you realize that because, it's just that we both are, I think every one of us we were under a lot of mental stress during lockdown, and that kind of reflected on the people that we were around with.
Okay. So for me, it was fine because I was with my husband, and we hardly were getting any time together because we had different work hours and all of that. But once the lockdown started, the both of us, we made an office. We changed to a bigger place where we could have one room as an office and the other one, and like different parts of the house for different purposes, basically. And that helped us a lot, not keep bumping into each other all the time and wanting to kill each other, basically. So
Yes.
that kind of yeah. And basically, when the lockdown was announced, and initially it was for a set of days. I really believe that ठीक है, उसके बाद it will become a little better, slightly better. I mean, we'll be able to go out. Work for me, working from home has always been an issue. I've never been able to work from home because it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't work out for me. But for the first 21 days when I made it work, उसके बाद से लेके now you ask me, I'm better off working from home than the office.
I mean,
you can work in your pajamas and all of that.
I don't know, yes, I really want to know how do you guys feel about working from home, because personally, I just love working from home because the antisocial inside me is really, really happy about not having to meet anyone on a daily basis and exchange small talks or just do things that you have to do when you are in office. So for me, it really works well. Also, I feel, although I think a lot of people do complain about not being able to have a balance, balanced life, separate life for your work, for your professional and for your personal things. That I do agree, because then there's no segregation of it. It's just in continuation. Like when you come back home, you are like completely switched off from your work, but there's no demarcation of where your professional life ends and your personal life starts in lockdown, which is something I think comes from self-discipline as well. Like it's something I think I need to work on myself. But I want to know your opinion on working from home, Anita, as well, because because there are people who I see my cousins, they are dying to kind of go back to office because, because human beings are social animals, right? We are social animals. We want to we want to be out there, hang out with people and all of that. But I don't relate to it. So, and I very rarely, and I also do find people who do not actually want to, because then there are people like my sister who she loves to travel a lot. So for her, it works very well. It's she can be anywhere and she can still, not have a professional life hampered. So yeah, Anita, you tell me, how do you feel about it?
So I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to go to office every day. So I want a mixture of both. Maybe 2 days work from home or 2 days office and 3 days work from home. So reason being, when we are at home, the work hours are not fixed, okay? If something comes up, we'll have to take it up. Just like you told, if we are going to office, after 7, it is over. You can do whatever it is tomorrow. But when you're at work, when you're doing work from home, you will have to do maybe at 8 o'clock, some call might come and you have to pick it up and you can't ignore it. So that's the biggest problem. And I think for the minutest of things, we are actually getting on Google Meet and, doing a Zoom call or something, which I think is very unnecessary. If it's just in office, I can just tell, hey, Meenakshi, just do this, or, help me with this, something like that I can tell you. But during work from home, I'll have to call you or I'll have to do a Google Meet with you, set up a time, which is convenient for both of us. So that I think is very tiring. And I don't think, this 6 hours or 8 hours of work, we limit it to that. We actually do it more than that because we are staying at home. So that's why I like to go to office. And I like to be, in a space where, it's not home and it's different, so that, it motivates me to work. So that's what I feel personally. People, obviously, I think, a certain amount of contact is required, right, like you told. I don't know whether you're comfortable with that, but I like to be around people, not all the time, but, sometimes.
Yeah. So I think,
please continue.
So I think it comes a lot of it boils down to self-discipline basically, because the control freak that I am, I would never imagine myself working from home and still being calm as fuck. And now I am. So the thing is that for our viewers who might not know, we all work in the same organization.
Yes,
yeah, we do.
So like Anita said, so I know where she's coming from, because she is that that big a nutcase. She is that proactive about extra proactive about work. So I understand where she's coming from, but I think
I mean, mentally, to be able to switch off completely from working hours, and then just making sure that you will not think about anything that is related to work once it's maybe like whatever time you set for yourself. So I think that has more to do with self-discipline, to be very honest, because initially I did struggle a lot. It's just been like 2-3 weeks since when I've like decided that no, like if I want to do it in the for a longer period of time, then I have to make sure that I maintain my sanity, because it's not healthy. You can't be constantly thinking about work, or you can't also let your personal life get overpower your professional working hours. So that discipline and that demarcation should, I think, be self implemented rather than because and it happened. I think initially like everyone was just like kind of trying to figure out how to go about it. Like everyone was like, because it was new for everyone. So even like when during my initial because I changed my job in the middle of lockdown. So even in my previous office, because people, and I don't blame anyone, because people actually were trying to kind of understand how to go about it and what is like how much is too much. Like if no one had an idea. So I think like eventually it all like, because I would love to continue working from home for as long as possible, because it works for me. Like I like the calmness of my home, and I think I also function better.
It's very productive. Calmness of
Yes.
surroundings, and being in control of your surroundings and everything.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask, moving on from work from home, is what is like I think all of us went through a lot of a lot of introspection during lockdown, and what is one thing that you realized was something that you were not aware of about your own self, like something, some quality. Like I realized I have severe anger issues. That's something that I've come to know now. Like after all these years, now I've realized that okay, I have anger issues, and it's maybe I was too busy to kind of be able to bring it to surface, and that's why it never probably happened. But I realized like I have tremendous anger issues, and I'm working on it.
Oh. I'm thinking actually, I don't know. Sushita, you answer first. Let me think till then.
I'm a little sad because I was diagnosed with chronic depression and anxiety. Depression for the most part, anxiety followed, which I had like even my psychiatrist didn't predict. So I was struggling. I've been on and off struggling with depression, but these past few years after I got married, I had just brushed it under the carpet. It's a phase. I mean, it's change, and it's this and it's that. And when I was forced to introspect because of the lockdown, because of being with myself, it all just the demons just came up crawling, and I had to deal with it. So, but that said, I am still dealing with them in a very healthy way. At least I'm facing them. Otherwise, you never know कि ये कब play out होता और कैसे, right?
I think this is what it did. Na lockdown. I think it gave you the time to kind of just sit and ponder about your own issues, and that is how it came to the surface. Like, I'm throwing around things because I have this,
Yes.
because because it comes from some place, within yourself. So I think like it gave all of us a time to understand our own flaws. Like I was always like, I'm perfect, I have no flaws. And I know, ये तुम्हारी गलती है, तेरी गलती है. It's all I always blame it on someone else. When I was like, nah, you are super faulty, and you have to come to accept it.
For me, I guess I stopped talking to people. So I was little active before, okay, like before the lockdown. I used to be always like around people. I used to talk and everything. But once the lockdown started, on a daily basis, maybe I just talk to one of my best friends, and maybe on a weekly basis, I just talk to 2-3 people. Just that much. So I just stopped talking. Then I even at home, I was not talking much with anyone. Even if I talk, it was just during the dinner time, and I was just in my own world, for 1 year. And I think I'm not that person. I started getting anxiety attacks also. Like multiple times, I had anxiety attacks during the lockdown. And that was a phase that I've not seen before of mine. It was very difficult for me because first I thought, no, maybe I'm having corona, that's why I'm having all these symptoms of anxiety. But later on, I got to know like it's an anxiety attack because I'm sitting at home. I'm, doing limited activities, and I'm not that kind of person. I like to go out. I like to meet people. I like to go out, but that was not happening for me. So then I had, initially, especially during April, May, June, that time I had these issues. Then after that, then I got accustomed to it, and now, yeah, Netflix and all those things are helping now. So it's totally fine right now.
Yeah.
I think for me, it has been a little opposite to your experience. So I've never been the kind of person who likes to go out a lot or to go to crowded places. More specifically, I like to go out, but not to socialize a lot. Maybe I would rather go alone on a drive or something of that sort. But I think for me, I became a lot more closer to people I've lost contact with over the years. Because I got the time to actually be able, because you're lonely, you are obviously feeling lonely because you don't have any human contact, whether you're an introvert, whether you're not an introvert, you need human contact,
Yeah.
So so that desperation gave rise to options of reaching out to people who you were probably not talking for over like 2 years or 3 years. So for me, I got in touch with a lot of people from maybe some other phase of my life. So that was very interesting because obviously people, I think people kind of grow and change like every 2 or 3 years. And it was really nice to kind of get in touch with those people with whom I spent a completely different phase of my life, And it was just so nice and so positive for me to actually be able to, discuss happy memories. We all were cribbing about the situation, but just to talk about about the experiences that we had and we shared. I think for me that was pretty. Even for me, even my relationship with my siblings or with my relatives or with my parents, because with my relatives we always had bi-monthly Zoom call where we played we played Tamshreds or we played some other game. So that kind of, because everyone had an excuse of maybe working too long and then people were out of, people actually wanted to, just talk to someone because there was no other way of human contact. So I actually got a little bit more closer to a lot of people in my life. And that is the only good thing about Corona, to be honest.
So for me, it was the opposite. Like I could socialize, I could go out with friends and everything, but I would always want to come back and curl up and just be myself, and I really love my space. So it was a mixture of both the things for me. Balancing that. Just being with your immediate family, which was my husband and my dog, and not being able to, and I also realized that thing, like you said, the human contact, the importance of that, touch, people, being there around you and all of that. So I realized कि वो भी important है.
Yeah.
But I used to earlier feel guilty about, taking time off from people, switching my phone, keeping it take care of. But then now after the lockdown, I've sort of realized that it's important also. So I've really discerned between the friends that are there before being my friends and the ones that are just there, So have been redefined for me in this last 1 year.
Yeah.
I think
I just admit to one more thing, that I have always had, kind of a toxic relationship with my family back home. Not a toxic, but a little toxic. It's never been I was always the black sheep, so
I get it.
Now in the lockdown, I was struggling with, कि अच्छा मैं भी phone उठाऊं या नहीं उठाऊं या बात करूं or will they understand? But now I have very clearly drawn my boundaries. कि ठीक है, I will talk when I will talk, and we'll talk like once. And these are the topics that you do not touch. And like boundaries are going in life mein. So that is very peaceful for me.
I think that's what happened. And I think at the end of the day, we all got to know ourselves a little better over the time that we had in seclusion. Like I realized things that I probably things that you kind of repress. There are memories that you don't want to confront, and memories that you don't want to, think about, and you don't even know that these memories actually kind of exist. Yeah, they're lost. They're lost. You don't know they exist. And there were times because I I think a lot of people actually struggle with mental health issues during lockdown because of loneliness and because of not having people around them. Okay, so I want to know do you think you would have survived lockdown had you been alone without anyone around you?
No, I won't. Because when I was having anxiety attacks, as I told you, even my family, even my mom and dad didn't know how to handle me. So my brother is the only person who knows how to handle me in that case. So that was the first time also. They didn't know. So they were like, okay, what is wrong with her? What's happening to her? I'm telling you, I'm not able to breathe. I'm really getting disturbed. Then I thought I have COVID, okay, but that was not the case. Then the thing I was telling was that if I was not with my family or if I was not with my friends, then that would be a difficult issue. If I'm staying alone, I wouldn't know how to control myself. So I would want someone around me so that they understand what's going on. So I can never survive alone. That is true. What about you?
Me?
Alone as in just you, not your partner, not anyone else, not your cat.
No, just me. So this is something that I have come to realization pretty early in my life, is that I really enjoy my own company. Even when I'm with my partner, we have very separate personal spaces, because at times I would rather spend time with myself than with you, because I think I am in my head, I'm the most compatible person for myself.
That is fine, but I'm asking you, a whole lockdown of maybe 3 months or so, will you be able to stay alone
a very close
without a cat also?
Yeah, I have a cat also, another. Yeah, but I have one of my very close friends. Actually, she spent the entire lockdown alone. So she is somewhat similar to me. She really enjoys her own company, but anything is excess is obviously it difficult a little. It's a little hard to kind of make adjustment with it. So she I was having a conversation with her just day before yesterday, and that's when she actually told me that it wasn't. So I think maybe 3 months for me. I think I would completely drain out at 3 months, not more than that.
Yeah,
3 months is the maximum that I can. Also, there is only so much that you can Netflix and chill, right? There's
that's true.
Yeah, there's only that many documentaries and that many series and that many shows that you can watch. So I think 3 months I could have survived, but not more. I would have gone mad.
Yeah. What about you, Tishita?
Yeah. 5 years ago, I had locked myself down to prepare for the civil services exam, and I had zero contact with anyone. I wouldn't go outside. I wouldn't do any of those things. And after I wrote my exam and the process was over, when I came out, I couldn't talk to my own relatives, my own family. It was super difficult. I used to feel like I've come from a different planet altogether, and why are they talking? It's not even required. So I've been through that. So for a fact,
how much time?
That was for 2-3 years. I was alone. I had zero contact with my friends. I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't on WhatsApp. I was doing nothing but studying with my books, and I used to enjoy that time. But when I came out of the bubble that I really loved, I actually realized that like the world has changed around me, and I had lost all my confidence. I couldn't talk, so I could write these huge answers with a lot of insight and foreign policy and this and that. But like the moment it came to "Acha kya banana hai khane mein," I was like, this is such a trivial conversation. Why do you even like? It was like a whole different level that I was on. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I can take another bout of.
I have something to add to that. So this entire lockdown, because I was just with my partner and I had no other, social interaction. When eventually, I had to kind of go out and talk to people, I realized that my social anxiety has increased multifold. Because I thought I had lost all social skills. I don't know, like, how to approach people. How do you say this? Like, even when my cook joined back, I made my sister talk to her because I did not know how to do that. And I was like, "Matlab, kya bolna hota hai? How do you, how do you ask for a salary? How do you, I did not know how to function normally socially anymore." So that's when I remember telling you guys also, I'm trying to put myself in difficult and uncomfortable situations, and hence the podcast as well. But just so that I can actually gain some social skills, because I feel I've lost it over lockdown, over the span of 1 year, in just being in just being in contact with one person every single day.
Yeah, so, it's a little bit awkward also. Like, even if you see your old friends, and do I know you? It's just that feeling is there right now. So yeah, even I find that very difficult.
I think a virtual world in future, if we actually move to a virtual world, it's going to be really difficult because, so my mom came down to Bangalore, I think sometime in December. And even though I used to talk to her every day, even though I used to, video call her every day, when I met her physically, I genuinely had, there was just for 2 to 3 seconds where I felt I do not know this person. Because I had been away from her for so long, I had not been in touch with any other human being. And when I met her after 6-7 months, I met her once during lockdown. But then when I met her after such a long, because I had cut down from every social interactions. So when I met her, eventually I actually couldn't even relate to my mom. For 2 to 3 seconds, I was like, just doesn't feel right. And then it eventually, once she was here for 2-3 days, I was like, now this feels like home. Now I know who she is.
So now it is at least acceptable. Back when I went through it, people couldn't understand what I. So इसीलिए now this time around I knew what to do. So I had drawn my boundaries very, specifically, and I used to talk to the people that I really wanted in my life and just ignore all the toxicity uske alawa. And taking cue from that, I was able to deal with this lockdown.
Yeah. That is a good point, because during when it was normal, we had to deal with people that we don't like also. But during the lockdown, you don't have to fake smile or fake texture. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the advantages of the lockdown. So during the lockdown, what trends have you guys done? So there was Dalgona coffee, there was baking, and there were so many things, right? So what did you guys do? Have you guys picked up on anything?
Is there anyone left in India who has not tried Dalgona coffee?
I
don't think so.
You haven't?
No.
Nice. Very, I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. Dalgona coffee I like because it's frothy. So it's actually a coffee only. It's nothing fancy. It's just that you do it upside down. That's the only thing. So people were going mad. People were going mad during initial days of lockdown, because everyone was I know people who have started I also have a food blog, but that is not from lockdown.
Me too.
But I know people who have legit started blogging about because about the food that they made, and kind of just something related to food basically, because people eventually, I don't know how, but people just had that calmness in them to kind of try out new things. People started their own gardens, channels and all of that. Like I know a lot of people who started doing that during lockdown.
Yeah.
Even Golgappa, I think Golgappa was also another thing that kind of caught on the trend during lockdown. मैं तो सिर्फ dalgona coffee ही बनाया. I tried momos once, but they were not good. To say the
Anita,
least.
what about you? What did you do?
I think I definitely tried dalgona coffee. That was for sure, but it was not all good. So I love coffee, okay? So that's why I thought I'd just try it and see. It looked good in almost everyone's stories. So I tried that, but I didn't like it much. So then, yeah, I obviously switched to black coffee again. But other than that, I didn't do much. So basically, my mom is a home baker, okay? So she makes a lot of cakes every day, like on a daily basis, she does that. So I think I like icing. Like I don't like baking because it's too much effort. So I like to do the icing part. So I have done that a bit, but not perfect yet. So Tushita, you have not done anything yet. Like not at all, not even one single trend you have followed.
Any new hobby that any of you like?
I started painting. I painted this. Matlab, see?
Nice.
Wow.
Cool.
I like the message on it. Like,
I painted a few
wow,
more
that's so
things.
pretty.
I started painting. I couldn't even draw a straight line, but then I started painting.
Uh-huh.
But it was my depression and I couldn't do anything else. But painting sort of took away that. I don't think it has anything to do with lockdown. I
Lockdown.
Yeah.
I think I heard people say that painting is therapeutic to a lot of people. Even cooking, like for me, cooking is therapeutic. Like
Yeah, for me also.
And I'm really stressed out. I just kind of make something nice.
Yeah.
Like
what I do.
My therapy, eating definitely.
For me, both cooking and eating. So basically, I like to chop stuff. Okay, so I put small bowls and I chop it and I'll chop it very nicely and I'll just keep
Make
that.
it all look really nicely.
Yeah, it should look nice. Yeah. So I have cooked a lot also. Like during the lockdown, I've cooked a lot. So that's a trend also I followed.
So all of us must have watched. So my mom used to watch this Sanjeev Kapoor show that that used to be aired in C, I think, if I'm not wrong. Did you? It's very stupid for me to ask this, but did you guys actually ever like cook and kind of play it out in your mind? Namak swad anusar, ek katon.
So
Of course. Every time I cook, I talk. It's a show for me.
So for me, I was like, this is my, this is how I'm going to launch myself. Ek katori, Shimla mirch.
Like,
like this.
So my food, like every time, like if you ever come to my place and if I make something, it might not taste nice, but it will definitely look bomb.
Look nice.
Because it will look like really nice. I'll make it like, मतलब होता है ना अंदर से खोखला, बाहर से all राजू बन गया gentleman type.
So for me, it is like on the go. मतलब जब तक जीरा भून रहा है, I will chop प्याज. I don't do all of that, but I play it out. I'm a chef.
So even if I'm making Maggi, तब I'm like playing it out अच्छे से. I think a lot of guys have a crush on Hima Krish.
We are diverting, guys.
Yes, we are diverting. Let's get back to talking about yes. But yes, like we were talking about our struggles. So yes, Anita, like is there anything that you had to go through during lockdown?
So I would say I was quite privileged. Like I was staying at home with parents and mom and all of us used to cook together. So that was also fine. So, I didn't lose my job. So that was a plus point. So I think for me, I wouldn't blame anything about lockdown. Just the thing that I was not able to go out and meet my friends and, I was not able to go back to Bangalore. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I don't think I had any such challenges staying at home. No, I don't think so.
For me, I feel merely like the main struggle was mental health related, to be very honest. Baki to like just to see people, use their job, like people I know people who have, responsibilities, who have kids, who have house loans to pay, and they've lost their job. They did not have any source of income for like 4 5 months. So that way, I really did I really did feel very much blessed when it comes to that.
I think you were
Other things,
volunteering also, na, Beach mein?
yes. I volunteered during COVID. So another thing that I did during lockdown was feed the strays, because so this has kind of become a ritual, every night ritual for us now, to just kind of go out. And so that also started from a very dark place, because I lost my dog during lockdown, and we just thought like, no, let's just do something, because I always feel everything good comes from a place of something dark, maybe, because that's when it actually hit us that there are dogs out there who needs help, and why not like kind of direct that energy towards that. So we did that, but that also, like I had my house help, and like my people, my Didi and my cook and all of them. So they also really did struggle. It was very, for me, I feel the empathy kind of took a toll over my mental well-being, because my mental health being, because just to see, because there were daily reports of this many deaths, this many people losing their jobs, and it was just too much, like too many negative information every single day hitting your face. So, meko to, like personally, I feel I was very much blessed. Yes, I did have my losses, but it's okay. Just in a bigger picture, it probably did not, like, it did matter to me, but in a bigger picture, there were people who suffered uh, uh, a lot as well. So for me, I felt, the kind of the everyday, like there was one point we kind of just made sure that the first thing we do not do right at the start of the day is, open our phone, check our phones and check the news, because just when you wake up and you see this many deaths and this many people have lost their lives, and it's just, you start the day with so much negative emotions within you. So that is something that was probably the only struggle that I faced during
So
lockdown.
even on LinkedIn, so whenever I used to open LinkedIn, so many people used to ask for references or their post on I have lost a job, so help me with that. So that was quite depressing. So even my friends have, most of them, not most, a few of them have lost their jobs, and a few of them passed out this year, in 2020. So for them it was difficult to get a job. So I think, yeah, so that kind of struggles, yes, and definitely the news, because there were a lot of things especially circulating, especially on WhatsApp. We used to see like 101 messages on the family groups telling you this is corona, that is corona, the death rates and everything. So all those things actually affected me. So basically, when the first COVID case came in our apartment, like in our flat vicinity, that's the time it hit me really, it hit me. So basically, I was really stressed out at that time, because I didn't know, like, that time they didn't even confirm on how this spreads. So that was the thing. There were so many conjectures on that. So that was also so that's the time I got my first anxiety attacks and all those things. So that was the only struggle I have faced. Thankfully, nothing more. Yeah. Tushita.
And in my case, Mirashi, are you okay?
Sorry, no, I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. Yeah.
So yeah, in my case, mental health issues, obviously they surfaced and resurfaced, and a lot of I went through a like very bad phase. Apart from that, when I first adopted my pet, this is the first dog I ever got, and I went through adoption guilt, and
Okay.
I cried like anything in the first 2 weeks of adopting this baby that now just clings to me like anything, and I couldn't even hold it. And that was like the worst thing, because I always wanted a dog, and I got one in lockdown, and I didn't know if I, like, I'm doing this in the middle of a pandemic. Is it good for him? Is it bad for him? And then I even wrote an article about it, and it got picked up by a publication in Medium and everything. So if any of you are going through adoption guilt, do go through the article. It's very common. We don't talk about it as much as we should. That was one thing.
Because there's
And
also a constant guilt of, knowing whether you're doing enough or
whether yeah.
whether you're doing enough and from that there's so like for me, I had faced it sometime in my life where I felt, and that guilt kind of made me question whether this decision was right, whether. But then again, it is like, how can you feel like that? Like, you're a mother, like don't say it about your child, like don't think, like it's like, like when you have a child and then you think you do not want it, there's just too much guilt because you want it, but at the same time you don't know if you're doing justice to it. So you just
Ironically, that only comes from the place. I mean, the place where it comes from is a mother's heart. Am I good enough for my child? Is this good enough?
yes.
Nobody else will question it also. So yeah, like yeah.
So guys, I think we can wrap up.
Wrap up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really nice talking to you all, and I hope everyone who's watching this has enjoyed it as well, as much as we have enjoyed it. Anything else that you guys want to add?
I mean, guys, do leave comments and let us know if you'd want to hear more about something, or if there's anything that you'd like to change, include, anything. I mean, this is the first podcast. We are looking forward to your comments and improve. Yeah.